Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing today? I hope you guys are doing well. Today guys, I'll be checking out this interesting video from Matt Walsh, and it's titled "Watch Kamala Harris Bomb So Bad Even Oprah Was Over It." You guys, I'm excited for this, and without much ado, let's see what Matt Walsh has for us in this video.
So as mentioned, Kamala Harris had an event with Oprah last night. Oprah pretended to interview her, and we were treated to some of the most Kamala Harris answers we've ever heard. And I'll save the worst one for last, or the best one, depending on how you look at it. First, here's Kamala struggling to give an approximation of an answer when she's asked about her plan for the border. It's a good question, simple, straightforward question. But she struggles to answer it. Let's watch.
When you become president, what would be your specific steps? Yeah, of course. What would be your specific steps to strengthening the border?
So it's a wonderful and important question. My background was as a prosecutor, and I was also the elected attorney general for 2 terms of a border state. So this is not a theoretical issue for me. This is something I've actually worked on.
Okay.
I have prosecuted transnational criminal organizations for the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. I take very seriously the importance of having a secure border and ensuring the safety of the American people. Sadly, where we are now can be traced most recently back to the fact that when the United States Congress, members of the Congress, including some of the most conservative Republicans, came up with a border security bill. And here's what that border security bill would have done. It would have put 1,500 more border agents at the border. Let me tell you, those border agents are working around the clock. It would have just been about giving them some support and relief, which is probably why the border agents actually endorsed the bill. It would have allowed us to stem the flow of fentanyl. And I'm looking at people from all over the country here, so I don't need to tell the folks who are watching this what fentanyl has done to families, to kids in our country, and the need to take seriously stemming the flow coming into our country and addressing that extraordinary and tragic issue in terms of its effect. The bill would have allowed us to have more resources to prosecute transnational criminal organizations. And it would have been part of the solution. And Donald Trump called up those folks and said, don't put that bill on the floor for a vote.
So to answer Justin's question, now that that bill has gone and hasn't passed, will you reintroduce that?
Absolutely, and when I am elected president of the United States, I will make sure that bill gets to my desk.
Okay, so a few things here. She doesn't answer the question. She's asked what she'll do to fix the border. Simple question, good question. Answers with a long, winding discourse about how the border problems are Trump's fault. Never actually gives her own plan. Needs Oprah to come in at the end and answer the question for her, acting like literally as her spokeswoman. But notice something else. She begins her answer by saying that she has worked on this problem because she was the Attorney General of California. But wait a second. You worked on this problem as Attorney General of California, you say, but I thought, didn't you work on this problem as Vice President?
Good question.
Why didn't you say you worked on the problem in the role that you currently have?
Yeah.
Like, that's an odd thing. Well, why didn't she say that? Well, because everyone knows the problem is worse now. You know, it's like when I was 19 or whatever, and I was interviewing for a job at, I think it was maybe Home Depot, and I gave 3 references from previous employers, but I did not include my most recent job as a reference. And of course, the interviewer asked me about that, and the reason I didn't include it is because I got fired from that job. So we're just going to skip over. We're going to skip over the thing I did most recently, and I'll tell you about stuff from a couple of years ago. How about that? And I still got the job because, they'll, whatever. But it's a similar kind of thing, but much worse in this case. When you're skipping over the most recent job you had, when you're trying to, when you're trying to explain why you should get a new job and you're going back to jobs from years ago, but skipping the one that you actually have right now, well, that tells us something about how you performed in that job.
Yeah.
Couple of other moments. Let's go here. This is Kamala talking about being a gun owner, and using language and a tone here that we have not seen from her in the past when it comes to this particular issue. Let's watch.
I'm a gun owner. Tim Walz is a gun.
I did not know that.
If
And I thought
somebody
that was
breaks in
powerful.
my house, they're getting shot.
Yes, I hear that. I hear that.
Probably should not have said that.
But
My staff will deal with that later.
Yeah, so funny. Laugh it up there, Chuckles. So you support gun rights for yourself, but not for the rest of us. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's the hilarious joke here. Is that she's going to protect her house with a gun because she's important. She basically admits her hypocrisy because she says that her staff isn't going to, she shouldn't have said that. Her staff's going to have to deal with it. But what do you mean they're going to have to deal with it? Why is it a problem that you said that? Trump could say something like that and his staff would not be upset. It wouldn't be something he had to deal with later. Because saying that you would shoot an intruder in your home is a totally normal thing. It's not controversial. Nearly every American citizen feels the same way.
Exactly.
It's only a problem for you, and you're aware that it's a problem for you, because in your case, it's hypocritical, because you're a gun-grabbing tyrant. So she's essentially admitting that. Finally, we get to the grand finale.
Wow, you guys, what are your thoughts on this video? And what are your thoughts on Kamala Harris' answers on the questions about border control? Do you think she was just driving around the bush and didn't say what was expected of her to say? Because even though she was a persecutor in the past that dealt with that problem, what about now that she is the Vice President of America? What exactly has she done with her position to make sure that the border is under control? Absolutely nothing. And I don't know why she thinks that when she becomes the next President of America, that is, if she ever will, that she's going to look into that bill. When she is currently the Vice President of America and hasn't even done anything about border control. Well, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below, and let's continue watching, you guys.
I don't know what the question was that sparked this ramble, but it's long, as you would expect from anything that Kamala Harris says. It is long and entirely empty of meaning. We kind of have to watch the whole thing because it is something to behold. This is Kamala Harris. If you had to summarize Kamala Harris in 2 minutes, you would do it with this right here. Watch.
We love our country. I love our country. I know we all do. That's why everybody's here right now. We love our country. We take pride in the privilege of being American. And this is a moment where we can and must come together as Americans, understanding we have so much more in common than what separates us. Let's come together with the character that we are so proud of about who we are, which is we are an optimistic people. We are an optimistic people. Americans, by character, are people who have dreams and ambitions and aspirations. We believe in what is possible. We believe in what can be. And we believe in fighting for that. That's how we came into being. Because the people before us understood that one of the greatest expressions for the love of our country, one of the greatest expressions of patriotism, is to fight for the ideals of who we are, which includes freedom to make decisions about your own body, freedom to be safe from gun violence, freedom to have access to the ballot box, freedom to be who you are and just be, to love who you love openly and with pride, freedom to just be. And that's who we are. We believe in all that. And so this is a moment where we stand, knowing what we are fighting for. We're not fighting against. It's what we're fighting for.
Thank you. Thank you. Madam Vice President.
I think that Oprah kind of summed it up at the end. She goes, This is, she's trying to do the speech at the end of the inspirational Disney movie from the 90s. She's trying to do that. And you can almost hear the piano music that she must be hearing in her head while she's saying this, but she can't even get that right because she lacks the necessary coherence because she's a moron. So she's trying to do something vapid and cliched, which would be bad enough, but she can't, that is a level beyond what she's capable of achieving because she's so stupid. I mean, just one line from that ramble. She says, let's come together with the character that we are so proud of about who we are. Let's come together with the character that we're so proud of about who we are. That doesn't mean, it literally means nothing. I don't know how to interpret that. I'm not even trying to be, intentionally obtuse to make a point about, I don't know what she's trying to say. I really don't. It's pure abject nonsense. Very, very dumb. Only a very dumb person is capable of saying something like that. It's so dumb that it makes you feel like you're having a stroke when you listen to it. People say that it's word salad. This is not word salad. These are words fed into a wood chipper. This is linguistic mass murder. This is a vocabulary genocide. She's slaughtering words, not making a mere salad of them. And this the thing about Kamala's circuitous, disjointed digressions. It's nonsensical and vapid and quite verbose in the emptiest and most shallow way possible. But at the core of it, to the extent that she's saying anything at all, what she's saying is also twisted and evil. Because the only parts of this ramble that made any sense, the only parts that, when I say make sense, I mean are intelligible. The only parts that were intelligible were the parts where she says that America is built on abortion, gay marriage, and gun confiscation. That's like the three things that the founders of our country either specifically repudiated in the case of gun confiscation, or in the case of the other two, never repudiated because they were so unthinkable in those days that they didn't need to be addressed. And certainly three things that are not rights enumerated in the Constitution. And yet these are the rights, the freedoms that Kamala Harris says the entire country is built on. Nonsensical and evil. That's everything she says is kind of it's a cocktail of nonsense and evil.
Wow, you guys, what are your thoughts on this video? And what do you guys think about Kamala Harris' American Dream speech? Do you think she nailed that speech or everything was absolute garbage? Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. And do you agree with Matt Walsh on this? If you totally agree with him, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.